On this week's show, free mode is back on the Tread Plus, and CEO Peter Stern said he will share a product roadmap later this year.
Plus, an integration with Garmin is teased. Tunde is a finalist in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit contest, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 225 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I am Amanda Siegel, and I am joined by my co-host, John Pruitt. Hey, John.
Hey, stranger.
Yeah.
Nice of you to join us this week.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. I know that I have been AWOL for the last couple weeks, with May just being a crazy, crazy month. But I appreciate you and Chris covering for
Holding
me.
down the fort.
I know we had 1 or 2 weeks with no show. I'm sorry about that.
That was Pelo Buddy's spring break.
Okay, there we go. But I am back for a minute. I have my feet back on the ground in Maryland. Yeah, it was a fun May. I got to graduate my youngest, or at least watch her graduate as she finished college. So a new chapter in the Siegel life.
Everybody's done with college now, right? All the Siegels.
Everybody's done with college, and if
done
they
with those college tuitions,
do masters or MBAs, they're on their own.
They're on their own. Yeah,
the Siegel gravy train is over. And then we lost our dog, which was
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, which was really just so hard. She'd been in our family for 17 years, and it was hard to say goodbye. You've been there, John, so you know what it's all about.
Yeah, we had 15
tough.
great years with Adami, so I totally feel your pain.
So miss her. Unfortunately, I think we're done though. Now it's time for the kids to get their dogs. I just
no more pets.
Yeah, no, I think what, I just travel too much, and between us, between flipping Florida and here, it's just a lot.
It's too much.
So I think for now we're gonna hold off. But so that was kind of a bump in the road, and definitely something that we'd been putting off for a while because she really had deteriorated. So and then an amazing trip to London and then Scotland, which was absolutely incredible. I had very little expectation. I have my beautiful friend Jenna, who lives in Edinburgh, Scottish Jen, NYC, who I got to spend some time with, but I had never been and was blown away. What a beautiful country. Just an absolutely gorgeous. I teased. My sister said to me every day she'd wake up and she goes, "Okay, are you buying that cottage on the water and raising sheep?" It's just such a great lifestyle. It was just beautiful. But no,
Where'd you
I'm
stay
not
in
moving to
Edinburgh.
So in Edinburgh, we stayed at the Scotsman Hotel, which is kind of their journal hotel, which was right in. I actually stayed with Jenna when I was there initially, and then we did about 1,500 miles of Scotland. We went from east coast to west coast and up to the Highlands. We went to the Isle of Skye. We did.
You rented a car.
Yeah. We had a driver that took us everywhere.
Okay. You had a tour guide. There's
my
no shame in that.
My sister planned it. It was all her doing.
I mean, it takes some getting used to driving on the right side of a car on the left side of the road. So.
Yeah, but remember, I grew up in South Africa, so that's how I learned how to drive.
Yeah, you're no stranger to it. Yeah,
that's how I learned how to drive. But anyway, it was truly an amazing 10 days. And I have to say, I don't play golf and I don't drink whiskey, but let me tell you, it didn't matter. It was just really, really a fantastic place to visit. So
very cool.
That was and now just kind of adjusting to being back and getting back onto the platform slowly but surely. I missed so much while I was gone, so I'm excited to finally get kind of back into it and reacclimate. So here we are with lots to talk about today, and
Yep.
we do recommend you kind of hang around till the end of the show because we do have an announcement to make at the end of the show. So we're going to kind of tease it to you guys so that you stick around. But we do have some news to share with you. So let's get on with the show before we do that. And as always, folks, we do like to remind you how you can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand side of the video and hit the notify button so that you never miss an episode.
Yes. And of course, we're on all traditional podcast platforms if you want to listen to us on the go, and find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Yeah. And finally, we are on all social media platforms. So Instagram, Facebook, X, just search for Pelo Buddy and follow us on those platforms for all of the latest news. And now let's really get on with the show.
Right.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
All right, so we are going to kick this week off with quite an interesting announcement. Peloton has officially reintroduced its free mode feature, exclusive to the Tread Plus, allowing users to manually power the treadmill belt for a more intense self-driven workout. So for those of you who are new to the platform before the kind of disappearance of the Tread Plus after some unfortunate incidents, it was offered back then, and then they no longer offered it. But now they are bringing it back. It is only available on the Tread Plus, but for all users, including those on the regular Tread and the Peloton app, can access that include free mode segment. A new filter on Tread Plus devices helps users easily find the free mode classes, and new visual icons now indicate such classes. So there are 3 new extra 10 free mode classes that were launched on June the 11th, along with all the regular classes that also incorporate the free mode segments. Peloton plans to regularly release more content using this format. So while free mode is technically exclusive to the Peloton Tread, Peloton has, as I said, been inclusive in letting all users access the content. So even though you may not be able to actually physically do it in free mode, you are able to jump onto that content without the manual belt feature. And truthfully, what this feature does is really push users to use full body strength and endurance, likely appealing to advanced runners or those looking to intensify their workouts. So
yeah, I remember Rebecca, some of her running classes. I remember years ago, she would have just little free mode segments. It'd be a 15 or 20, and I mean, those are challenging, but, doing it for 10 minutes straight or 15 minutes, that scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
And I know Jess Sims is also a big fan of having free mode in her set when it was Saturday 60, on Saturday. So I'm sure she'll be bringing those segments back into her class plans.
Right. Yep. So yeah, let us know how you get on, folks. If you use it and how you feel about it, let us know how you get on.
Well, when you had the Tread Plus, did you ever use it?
No, I did not.
Okay.
No.
That's okay. It's not your fault.
No, not my fault.
Oh, it's not your fault. Well, it appears that Peloton may be finally adding a long-requested integration with Garmin. CEO Peter Stern revealed a little bit of information last week when he was speaking at the Bloomberg Tech Conference in San Francisco. So he was asked specifically about data collection at Peloton and how extra information would allow Peloton to use AI to optimize people's workouts and recommendations. And the interviewer went on to ask whether Peloton needed a wearable or some sort of a new heart rate strap or new sensors on the tread or bikes for any of this. And Peter Stern's response implied that Peloton didn't necessarily need their own device due to partnerships that they have, including one with Google Fitbit. He then went to go on to talk about Garmin integration. He said, "We have done an integration with Garmin smartwatches because a lot of top athletes choose that, and we are also working with Apple Health, the Apple Health app, to make sure we can import data from there." And then he specifically mentioned integration here, and in the broader context of importing data from external ecosystems. So while Peloton does allow members to use select Garmin watches as heart rate monitors, the context of the overall conversation implied that there would be a bigger integration with Garmin, similar to how Peloton integrated Apple Health with syncing and sharing data between those two platforms. So what we don't know yet is, any further details, how in-depth the integration between Peloton and Garmin Connect will be, or kind of when that's going to happen. But I know a lot of people are excited, and a lot of users of Garmin products.
Yeah. Well, they used to have their own heart rate monitor, but I don't think it was very effective, correct? I mean, I know that they always gave us those.
They probably had a strap or wearable.
They did. Because I remember when you got your equipment, they often used to give you those for free. It would come in kind of like your welcome box. You probably don't even remember. It's been so long ago. But I do remember that. I never ever used their heart rate monitor. I just used my Apple Watch as my own kind of device. And it works. I never really monitor my heart rate, to be honest with you, which I probably should. As an older woman, I should probably, so I don't have a frigging heart attack while I'm running on the bike.
Yeah, so you don't all of a sudden be in the red.
Exactly. All right. Well, Peter Stern's definitely been busy, and again, he had his Q3 earnings call last month. So in that call, he and also at a recent tech conference. So he was recently at a tech conference. He shared that hardware innovation will be a key part of Peloton's growth strategy moving forward. He says, while Peloton has consistently improved its software and content, Stern signaled a renewed focus on updating connected fitness hardware to give users more reasons to buy. A detailed product roadmap, possibly unveiling new or enhanced hardware, is expected to be shared between August and November of this year. This shift really is supported by the hiring of the new COO, Charles Kirol, to accelerate innovation and improve product quality and supply chain agility. Although no specific products were confirmed, the FCC filings and internal developments hint at new screens or hardware possibly incorporating features from the Peloton guide. So definitely some interesting info that was shared by Stern at the tech conference, as well as the Q3 earnings.
Well, we got 3 brand new Split Plus training programs, which just launched this past Friday, the 13th, featuring Adrian Williams, Jess Sims, and Robin Arzon. The release was teased recently in Peloton's June workouts to watch email. But at the time of recording, this episode, Peloton has not released the full details yet of the new program, only that they're taught by Adrian, Jess, and Robin, and will feature a structured pairing of strength and cardio. So for those unfamiliar, the Strength Plus program, they're 1-week programs of boot camp classes designed to be repeated over consecutive weeks. Each class has a strength segment followed by a cardio segment on the bike, the tread, or the row. I'm guessing Adrian's got the row because he teaches on the row. Jess has the tread, and obviously Robin has the bike. In a recent strength class, Robin had shared that she was in the process of recording a new Split Plus training program that incorporates both strength and cycling. She described the format as a 45-minute session, 30 minutes of strength, followed by 15 minutes on the bike, including at least 1 day focused on sprints or intervals.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's going to be very welcomed for sure. So for the artist series of the week, there actually had not been one scheduled for this week. And we saw before going to recording that Peloton had gone ahead and included their past All for One Beach Boys artist series that they had previously. This was really to commemorate the life of Brian Wilson, who recently passed just this past week. Brian Wilson, the co-founder and lead singer of the Beach Boys.
And lead songwriter, yeah.
And phenomenal songwriter. Passed this past week. So really amazing that Peloton pivoted so quickly and were able to change the schedule and throw in those encore classes. It kicked off with Myla Wiedekind's German ride, and that was at 1 p.m. on Thursday. They then offered the All for One walk plus run with Andy Spear, the flow with Dennis Morton, and they ended Thursday's lineup with Leanne Haynesby Aldis's ride that she had offered. They also repeated them on Friday morning, so those encores popped up on the schedule on Friday morning as well. So gave members a chance to commemorate and celebrate his life, which is amazing. Yeah. So that was.
I know
nice.
my mom was a big fan. She was pretty bummed when she heard the news because she saw him recently twice in the last 6 years.
Really?
In concert, yeah. And
yeah,
because
he was still performing. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, it is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the dads
How
out
did we
there.
not say that at the top of the show?
I know,
John. Happy Father's Day, and of
well,
course, to all
we're
the
recording,
fathers out there.
a few days earlier.
I
so.
know. But happy Father's Day to everybody that celebrates. Yes.
Well, on this past Friday, the 13th, we got a 30-minute Father's Day row with Katie Wong, a 30-minute Father's Day run with Alex Karwoski. I guess he was subbing for the Alex Toussaint Friday noon time slot.
Got it.
And a 30-minute run with Adrian. And these occurred live. I'm assuming they had members in the studio as well. On Saturday, the 14th, we got a 30-minute walk plus run, Father's Day walk plus run with Olivia, which was live early in the morning, I think at 7 a.m. Eastern time. And then we also got later in the day a 30-minute full body strength with Jermaine, which dropped on demand. And then finally, lastly, on Sunday the 15th, we got a 20-minute Father's Day ride with Robin that also dropped on demand.
Interesting. I was just thinking about it as you were sharing that story. I guess Jermaine is the only dad in the mix with Bradley Rose coming up in a couple weeks. But I guess Jermaine. Oh no, Cliff is a dad. I think it's just Cliff and Jermaine.
You mean London instructors?
Yeah. Well, there are no New York instructors that are dads. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Andy's a father.
Andy's a father. You're right.
Yeah, he's got a boy.
All right. I was just thinking, it's interesting because usually they try. I would have thought they would have kind of matched up fathers. I'm surprised Bradley Rose. I'm surprised Bradley Rose didn't do a impending Father's Day ride next year. He'll have to be on
for
there.
Sure.
Yeah. Very exciting. He's got like 2 weeks to go, I think, before Sophia delivers, which is really
right
exciting.
around the corner. Yeah,
I know. Really exciting for him. I love how they've shared their journey of getting to this point. It's amazing to watch. Talking about Bradley Rose or London, when I was in London last month, Benny Adami announced in his 80s class on May the 25th that he would be doing a sing-along in June. Well, the time is now. This Saturday, Benny had his first ride in German titled Dein Konzert, Sing Along. He promoted the class this past week with a very, very fun reel that he put together, catching folks at PSL off guard. So it started out with just 2 innocent shoppers in the Peloton store at PSL and went on to catch some of the stuff. He got Cliff in there singing. I mean, Benny has the most phenomenal voice. I mean, he was a singer, I think, when he was growing up and performed and did a lot of stuff. But the excitement that this guy had in the class about being able to do this, and kind of like competing with the OG Jen Sherman,
I know. Look out, Jen. Yeah.
it was really fun. So not sure if any of you took it yesterday, but I'm sure it must have been such a fun ride. He is just,
And that was live with members?
it was live with members.
And
Yes.
did you say it was in German or English?
It was in German.
Okay.
It was in German. I'm sure it'll be a Duolingoed. I'm sure there'll be a lot of
English
both.
versions,
Obviously,
yeah.
the songs will probably be English songs, I
Yeah.
assume. But I'm looking forward to sharing that with you guys next week as to how it went.
Very fun. Well, Peloton, we have this week at Peloton. Peloton highlighted a few select classes that have taken place or will be taking place from June 9th through the 15th. First up, Jess King kicked off the week with a live 60-minute Sweat Steady ride on Monday the 9th in the morning. And then Tuesday the 10th at noon, Matty Giacomo taught a 30-minute Disney walk, which I did live. It was a lot of fun. And then Wednesday, Peloton released their next batch of dance cardio classes. They feature dance cardio from Leanne, a 50-minute 2000s dance cardio from her, and Rebecca had two, a 15-minute low-impact dance cardio and a 15-minute house dance cardio. And then Camilla has a 15-minute dance cardio and a 15-minute Latin dance cardio. And then if you're looking for more dance cardio content, the easiest way to find it is if you go to the cardio class category and then filter by class type and select dance cardio. It'll pop up all there for you.
Nice.
And then also on June 11th, the second installment of the Hit After Hit outdoor run series was released. These are 2-for-1 outdoor runs, which we shared about them recently on a recent episode. They're being released every other Wednesday throughout the summer. This week's 30-minute outdoor Hit After Hit 2-for-1 run features Bex Gentry and Kirsten Ferguson, as well as two instructors. The series, it features two different music genres. So this one with Kirsten and Bex, it features hip hop and classical music. So I looked at the playlist. There was, a Nicki Minaj Drake song, and then there was some Beethoven. So I don't know about, I'm not going to take that one. That's just a weird combo to go back and forth between. But
definitely,
whatever floats your boat. I'm sure someone, something for everyone.
Right, of course.
So, some good new
Sounds
content.
good.
We always have some good stuff drop on Wednesdays. So it's nice
yes.
when, there's no live classes and there's always something to do or catch up on.
You have that opportunity to catch up on, for sure. All right. Well, to celebrate Pride Month, Peloton is hosting in-person run clubs in both New York City and London. So the London event will be held on Wednesday, June the 18th, and features instructors Jeffrey McEachin and Eric Yeager. The New York event follows the following week on Thursday, the 26th, with no instructors confirmed yet. So you have to hang tight. We will share that with you next week as to who will be involved in the New York City Run Club on the 26th. Each event includes a 5K run with multiple pace groups, plus an additional 3K walk option in London. So they really are trying to be as inclusive as possible and getting as many folks, out there to be able to participate. The events are free, but they do require RSVPs and are part of Peloton's growing tradition of monthly run clubs in both cities. As I said, they're offering multiple pace groups with walk options. So it does make the event approachable for all fitness levels and athletic backgrounds. So definitely try and get to those if you can.
Cool. Well, Peloton has quietly made an update to its United Kingdom warranty documentation. And now the Row, Peloton Row, is no longer mentioned. In late 2023, we shared that Peloton updated the UK warranty information to explicitly include mention of the Row as one of the applicable hardware devices. And that update was interpreted, obviously, as a hopeful sign that Peloton might be preparing to launch the Row in the United Kingdom. So, however, with this latest revision last month to the UK warranty terms, the Row has disappeared entirely. So, just to be clear, it doesn't, confirm that it won't be released in the UK. Peloton could easily throw that back into the warranty list at any time. But there's been no recent, movement about it, or, official word or any kind of rumors that we've caught wind of, indicating that there's going to be an international rollout currently. So
disappointing for the UK folks. I mean, that is disappointing that they never
I know.
got the Row.
And speaking of UK instructors, it's been nearly 2 years since Ben Aldis was spotted filming what appeared to be test rowing content, which sparked a lot of speculation then about the Row's potential expansion into new markets. So, at the time when we saw that, it seemed like Peloton was laying that groundwork for a broader release beyond the US when the Row officially launched in late 2022. But yeah, and since then, Peloton's been pretty quiet about any, rowing plans abroad in the UK or other countries. So for now, the Row remains a North American product only.
I think it's just Peloton's way of saying, Pelo Buddy, you don't know everything. I mean, we went ahead and told everyone that Ben was, a possibility row instructor. And now they're saying, you see, Pelo Buddy, you don't know everything.
I'm curious how Chris Lewis even, spots that.
I know.
If he has an alert set up for a word change or verbiage change on that specific
he won't
warranty
give away
page.
His secrets.
Yeah.
He won't give away his secrets. But I did kind of chuckle when I saw that. I'm like,
really, nothing gets past him.
Yeah, and yet we've been able to. Yeah, we haven't given you any like real, this is happening and it happens. Well, we're still talking about the guide. I cannot even believe it is a story still, but the guide is now currently on sale for free. No, I'm only kidding. It's $45 on Amazon, which is over 50% of its standard $95 price. The discount is exclusive to Amazon and not available through Peloton directly. For those that are not familiar, the guide is a strength training device that connects to a TV, offering features like rep counting, form feedback, and movement previews. The sale comes just as Peloton is removing access to structured programming from most TV apps, making the guide a viable alternative for members who want to continue using programs without workarounds.
Membership Chris Lewis did chime in and say that the guide is free. I couldn't see the rest of the message, but I'm guessing it's free with certain packages.
If you buy a bike, tread, or row, there I see it. I see it. They are throwing it in for free there for this month, so I guess it is free. And yes, John and my guides are still in the packaging.
In the box, yeah. One of these days.
They're in the packaging. So just to kind of add, membership for the guide does cost $24 a month unless you already own other Peloton hardware. This sale price has appeared periodically with similar discounts in past months. But I just kind of chuckle whenever we have a guide story because it's just still there. It's like that annoying cousin that just always pops up at those events when you least expect them to. There's the guide.
People that use it love it.
Yeah, I know. I just have not been able to get into it. Anyway, it makes me too accountable for strength. Maybe that's the reason.
Yeah, I hear you. I know.
Yeah.
The struggle is real.
Real.
Happy birthday. We have a few Gemini birthdays. Cody's was this last Sunday, a week ago. Assault Arians was Monday, and Jocelyn Thompson Rules was today, Sunday.
Yeah, it's today.
So happy birthday. Cody is, he's off for a couple of weeks. He's abroad somewhere. He's doing a lot of traveling lately.
He's doing a lot of traveling. I guess he was at Beyonce in the UK.
In the UK. Yeah, because I guess tickets were so insane in the States.
It's crazy.
It's easier. I guess the UK, they don't have all these, they have all these regulations around resale of tickets.
Yes.
So you don't get, taken to the cleaners like you do in the U.S., with
Exactly.
StubHub and all those, second-party resellers.
Exactly. Yeah, Jenny from the A, my friend Jenny from Atlanta had also gone to the show in the UK, and I was like, good for you for picking up and just going and throwing in a couple classes as well. She's fabulous.
Nice.
All right, folks, we are going to move right into instructor in the news, and I will kick it off with one, and I'm saying it, Chris, don't cut me out. Badass chick. Tunde is truly just everywhere, and this was incredible to watch her strut the stage as she has been named a finalist in the 2025 Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Swim Search, a prestigious competition highlighting new modeling talent and inspirational stories. She was one of 6 finalists featured at Miami Swim Week on May the 31st, where she walked the runway in 2 bold swimsuits. Tunde celebrated the moment as a personal and empowering milestone, sharing her journey and gratitude on social media. Folks, the public voting opened, and it is through July 31st of this year. So you have plenty of time to vote, and we, as just being one of ours, in our community, we have to go and vote for her. I got my whole family to vote.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we got out the votes for Cody when he was on Dancing with Stars.
Yeah.
So everybody get behind Tunde. Yes.
So, that will obviously help determine the winner alongside input from the Sports Illustrated editorial team. The final winner will be featured in the 2026 Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. So huge good luck to Tunde. We really hope that she wins. So go out and vote, folks.
And those pictures she shared, she looks stunning.
Phenomenal. I mean, she's a badass. I mean, she's just phenomenal. Yeah.
Well, Hannah Corbin has revealed some initial details behind her upcoming book tour. And the first stop actually just happened. It took place this past Wednesday, the 11th, in Coral Gables, Florida. And it was held at a little independent bookstore called Books and Books. And in case you missed it, Hannah's book titled Did You Stretch Though? 52 Stretches to Increase Flexibility, Balance, and Performance. It's now available for pre-order before its full release on November 4th of this year. It was a ticketed meet and greet event. I think it was around $49 if you wanted to attend. Attendees did receive a signed and personalized book plate from Hannah. And then, while books weren't distributed because they're not out yet, all registered ticketed guests will receive a copy of her book shipped to their home in November when it's released. So more book launches are expected throughout this summer. So stay tuned for announcements in the coming months.
Yeah, she's very humble. She definitely kind of watching her do this book launch. She's definitely shy and humble. So I'm really hoping that folks get out there and go and see what she's up to, because she's so passionate about the stretching. And let me tell you, as someone that stretches a lot, it is such a vital part of the whole platform and what we should be doing. We should be stretching. And I noticed it. I mean, just being away for a couple of weeks and not routinely, stretching, I came back feeling so stiff and so,
you notice it.
There's no question. So stretch, folks. All right. Well, the incredible Matt Wilpers, yikes, competed in the Western Mass Ironman 70.3. They did not have the swimming section due to weather conditions, but he biked 56.4 miles and ran a half, 13.2 miles. He posted a video on IG actually advertising Core Power's 26-gram chocolate shake that he says keeps him going strong. And that is in my refrigerator. My husband loves it.
Was that a an ad promotion?
I guess it was an ad promotion. I mean, I knew he was doing the Ironman triathlon, but he had shared that on his Instagram that he actually obviously was an ad for Core Power, which is Fairlife's one of Fairlife's protein shakes that they have. So huge shout out to Matt, who constantly just amazes me in what he does. So huge shout
Awesome.
out.
Well, a big congratulations to Allie Love, who was recently honored with the 2025 Voice of Mental Health Award from the JED Foundation. In a recent post on Instagram this week, Allie said, "Wow, what an honor to be recognized for the work I get to do. Mental health doesn't have a look. It's actually something that affects us all in various seasons of our lives. This I know firsthand. Finding ways to stay grounded, to connect and communicate is so important. And even more importantly, to be sure to ask each other, how can I support you? And or what does support look like for you?" So big congratulations to Allie.
Yeah, amazing. All right. Well, this one really actually I found so amazing. So Kirsten Ferguson shared on her socials that she will be emceeing the daily main stage each afternoon for the Deep Blue Women's Sports Yacht Club event, which is in Cannes, France, next week. It's a 3-day program from June the 16th to the 18th, which will include panels and fireside chats re mental health and wellness. The lineup of speakers is remarkable. One that just kind of bounced out was Deepa Chopak. But there are just amazing speakers. There's an amazing, bevy of just health and fitness folks that are out there. And I did notice that Ben had chimed in when Kirsten had posted it on her socials to say, "I'll be there." So I guess Ben probably and Leanne will be attending the event, which will be great. So it's right there on the beachfront of Cannes. So huge shout out to Kirsten for having such an important part of this.
Yeah. Well, Jess King and DJ John Michael recently DJ'd together at a gig at the World Pride Music Festival, which was in Washington, D.C. recently. It was held at the Fields at RFK campus. So it was a big kind of outdoor festival event. There's a lot of people there. It looked like it was pretty deep, so a pretty massive crowd. And at one point, Jess's mom joined her on stage at the DJ booth to dance with her and John Michael. Jess King posted about it with some photos and said, "What an incredible way to kick off Pride Month at World Pride Music Festival. The energy was unmatched. Thank you to everyone who came out and to DJ John Michael for crushing this set with me. Let's do it again. Happy Pride."
Yeah, amazing. I was actually in Toronto for a wedding, so was actually flying back.
Toronto. It's random.
Yeah. I have tons of South Africans in Toronto. So one of my
Did you
very
pick up
best
any ketchup
friends,
chips while you were there?
I'm actually heading back. You know what? I'm actually heading back in a couple of weeks. I have a second friend whose daughter's getting married in Toronto. So
wow.
I will be. This was a quick in and out because I had just come off my trip from Scotland. So I literally flew in, went to the wedding and flew back out. But I wasn't in DC for the event. And my son said, because he lives in DC, he said it was wild. It was so unbelievably well attended. Yeah. He said it was amazing. So I don't know if he saw, specifically Jess and John Michael, but DC was just buzzing. They had, hundreds of thousands of folks that came out for the Pride Festival, which was amazing.
Awesome.
So yeah. All right, so we are going to wrap up Instructors in the News with Hannah Corbin. She has definitely been busy lately. This story tells us that she opened up about her journey of Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which she's spoken about in the past. It's an autoimmune disorder. And she did so in a candid interview with Women's Health Australia. After a long pursuit of optimal health, Her diagnosis was both validating and emotionally difficult. She reframed her condition by calling it auto-amazing instead of autoimmune, shifting her mindset to focus on what her body can do rather than what it can't. She acknowledged the daily ups and downs of living with a chronic illness, now approaching workouts with gratitude and flexibility. She says that her teaching style reflects this ethos, encouraging members to show up as they are without pressure to perform at peak levels. So she definitely opened up a huge platform for those folks, for those women that suffer from it. And, you know, she has shown, I mean, I remember reading an article previously how she said that, you know, so many physicians just kind of, you know, poo-pooed her and said, it's nothing, until she really pursued it and discovered this was really what was going on. So huge shout out to her for figuring it out and making it work with her health routine, her exercise routine. So yeah. All right, John, let's go for picks of the week. Do you want to go ahead and kick it off?
Kick it off? Sure. Oh, first up, Mila Lazar's 10-minute Cyndi Lauper arms and lightweights, which was in German from the 5th. Armajar 3 said good fun burner with a great playlist. And then Alex Karwoski's 20-minute max out row, also from the 5th. Tabata Be Hitting Me said very hard workout, but it's very well planned and predictable. And Alex keeps you distracted and motivated with a great playlist. Katie Wong's 10-minute glutes and leg strength, also from the 5th. Gwen Gets To and Tabata Be Hitting Me said the hypertrophy workout is short, but packs a punch.
And then we moved to Hannah Frankson. She had a 15-minute hip-hop ride on June the 7th. This one comes to us from Gwen Gets To. They said, I loved Hannah's chill playlist focused on the theme of summertime. And then Charlotte Wiedenbach had a 30-minute metal ride in English, also from the 7th. This one came to us from Cheese KK, and they said this was the best. The energy was so great. The story really got me. And then Dennis Morton and Matt Wilpers had a 90-minute Power Zone endurance ride, a 2-for-1. And boy, folks loved this
popular one. Yeah.
It was definitely popular. This one came to us, and I don't want to leave anyone out. It came to us from Shy Nation, Allbiz Liz, Janice S. Lee, Gwen Gets To, Jennifer Carroll 22, and Tabata Be Hitting Me. And they said a classic playlist with a few fresh hits. I like the structure of the working sets, decreasing in time. Great to get a hard workout out of the way. Always fun to get the dynamic duo together.
Nice. Well, next up, Maddie Mijakomo's 30-minute Pride Pop Walk from June 7th. Spotty Dog Sarah, Marnes 11, Ross Unofficial, and Tabata Be Hitting Me said it's always a treat when Mara teaches a class for Maddie, and a very important timely message in this one. Yeah, so if you missed it, this was the class that features Maddie's alter ego, Mara Thonner, and this year she was dressed up as the Statue of Liberty.
Fantastic. I mean, he is just amazing. I mean, he is definitely puts it out there.
I mean, it's got to be tough, you know, trying to up the previous year's outfit. Last year was like this, like, big bird's nest on his head.
Yeah, it was very much
outdoor imagery. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, Chelsea Jackson Robert and Camilla Ramon's 30-minute vibe and flow reggaeton from the 8th. Mary Yogi 12 and Armajar 3 said, such a treat to see Camilla in there too, and a fun playlist in class. Looking forward to more of this series. This was a blast.
I got to chime in there. I did do this one when I got back, and it was fantastic. It was such a fun class with the two of them. It was almost hard to really be focused on the yoga aspect of it, but they really did an amazing job together. So huge shout out to the two of them. Great class.
All right, and then next up, Anna Greenberg's 45-minute slow flow from the 8th. Armajar 3 said, wonderful class and full of twists.
Nice. All right. Well, Allie loves 30-minute feel-good ride. I have heard that this one was amazing. This one was from the 8th of June. It came to us from Christina M. Romano, and they said, great ride for Best Friends Day. And then Ben Alders had a 45-minute Power Zone endurance ride. This one was on the 9th of June. Came to us from Jennifer Carroll, 22. And they said, good, solid Power Zone endurance workout and good choice of that Hey Mama song to bring us to high cadence. And then Christian van der Velde was on the schedule this past week. He had a 45-minute pro cyclist hit training ride. This was from the 9th as well. It came to us from Just Dance Lisa, and they said he's always so helpful. His classes are always true training.
All right, heading over to the row now. Ash Pryor's 20-minute endurance row from the 9th. Tabata Be Hitting Me said, Ash calls these a love letter to ourselves, and they really are. A great vibe, playlist, and steady work with helpful cues from Ash. And then Jocelyn Thompson Rules, 20-minute Hidden Hills run from the 10th. Tabata Be Hitting Me said, a challenging but manageable run with a fun playlist. She's calm through the hard efforts, so you almost don't realize how hard you're working. And then over to the bike, Camilla Ramon's 45-minute 2010s pop ride from the 10th. Meg P. Bower said, this class flew by, amazing playlist with Bing, both tough and fun.
And then we hit the floor with Leanne Hainsby Aldous, a 15-minute 2000s dance cardio. This one was from the 11th. It came to us from Just Dance Lisa. And they said, great class and music. Hope she does more of these. Cody Rigsby's 30-minute pop ride, also from the 11th. This one came to us from our very own Kenny Banya and Islinger Debbie, a pop throwback playlist. You want to share something?
Yeah, so this one was a nice surprise, just on-demand drop this past Wednesday. It just appeared. And, it was a coach-to-camera record, so there was no, he wasn't shouting out anybody on the leaderboard, no members in the studio. But it was really fun because the playlist was all pop throwback songs. It was older songs. So, he had some George Michael, some Billy Ocean.
Oh, nice.
Madonna Borderline was in there. There was some Sade, Luther Vandross, so Whitney Houston. And then he was just very entertaining. He was in a great mood. A lot of, just funny chats, to the camera. So a really fun, entertaining, one of his best rides, I'd say, in the last few months.
That's
so
awesome.
High praise for that one.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then Selena Samuela, she had a 5-minute upper body stretch that dropped on the 11th. Came to us from Aaron FJ5. And they said, great to have a nice little stretch from Selena.
All right. And rounding out the picks of the week, Rebecca Kennedy's 15-minute house dance cardio from the 11th. Just Dance Lisa said the dance cardio classes are great and the house version music was great. And then Bex Gentry and Kirsten Ferguson's 30-minute hit after hit, 2-for-1 run from the 11th. Leslie 728 said, great combination of hip hop and classical in this playlist. And then finally, last but not least, Andy Spears, Extra 10 free mode from the 11th. Kevin SR2 said, so excited to have some new free mode classes in the library.
Nice. So quite a nice bunch of classes this past week.
Good
Definitely
mix.
Great mix of classes. All right, folks. Well, if you hung around, you get to hear the news. Sad news for me. Very sad news for me. But John Pruitt, a.k.a. Kenny Banya, will be stepping down as my co-host on Pelo Buddy moving forward. And I have to say, it has been quite a ride.
Yeah, 3.5 years now.
I got to tell you, it's been a pleasure.
Who would have thought we would still be going strong?
And like each other after this amount of time. I mean,
I put up with you for, Almost 4
Yeah.
years now.
Yeah, you put up with me. I think that maybe the role reversal. I put up with you, and once you started being nice to me, then we kind of figured our mojo.
Yeah, we hit our groove.
I got to tell you, it truly has been. I mean, folks, I don't know. I'm sure you do know, but this is something we do purely out of the love of Peloton. We love Chris Lewis. We love what Chris has done with Pelo Buddy.
Love the
huge
community.
shout out to,
Yeah.
but huge shout out to Chris. For just, it's a lot of work that he puts in. And I tell folks all the time, we're just the faces. We present the show to you, whether you're listening to us or whether you're watching us on YouTube. We're just there to share the stories. But, Chris does so much work. Chris Lewis does so much work in putting those stories out. Chris Giles does so much work in producing this show for us. And we try and make it as perfect as possible. We're amateurs. We don't know what we're doing, but we do it anyway. We do it for fun.
Yeah.
And honestly, it has been truly, truly an honor and a privilege to get to know you better, John. We've been through dogs passing, stuff going on, family stuff.
Broken kids with broken legs.
We've
kids graduating,
done it all.
going
Right.
to college.
Exactly. And I have to say, I'm sad. I respect, you moving on, and you have
I thought
exciting things going on.
Thank you. I thought, I'm starting a new job. So I just thought it was a good opportunity now, to sort of pass the torch and, let somebody take over the co-hosting duties with you. So whoever that may be, I'm sure you guys will have a good time, spreading the love and the news. But yeah, definitely just to echo your sentiments. Big thank you to Chris Lewis for what he does for, Pelo Buddy and all the social media channels and the website. And also to Chris Giles behind the scenes for putting together, making this podcast, the video and audio sound and look great. And also to Rich Denham, too, who's also helped us behind the scenes as well. And I'm gonna miss talking to you and just rapping with you from week to week. But hopefully, we'll see each other at whichever studio, PSNY or PSL. So I know our paths will cross. So it's not really goodbye.
Exactly. And I still feel very strongly about whether now even more so is doing a reunion where the five of us can kind of try and get to do a.
Well, it's funny. I've never met Chris
weekend.
Lewis in person. I met Chris Giles
Oh
in
my
London,
goodness,
but
I
it's
don't
funny.
believe that. That is
I know.
crazy.
After all these years.
Well, I think we still have to try and do something like that. So once you get Chris just wrote in our notes there, I'm a figment of your imagination. You're far from it, baby. You get all the credit for what you do here. So so yes, folks. So we'll keep you posted on who's up next to sit next to me on the chair. For right now, I'm not going anywhere. It's fun to do this. I love to bring this show to you guys. Always sad when I'm not here, and I do have some trips still coming up over the summer, so there'll be maybe some breaks and stuff as the summer continues. But huge good luck to you, John, and I only wish you the best. Hope we still see you on that platform. Don't give up your Peloton classes. Folks will be very disappointed if you aren't chasing them on the leaderboard and passing them and doing
I'm not
crazy
going
things.
anywhere. Yeah. I'll be around.
Anyway, with that, folks, thank you once again, as always, for tuning in, for taking the time to listen to us. We really have done well in trying to keep it under an hour over the last few months. So happy that we're able to bring it to you in a somewhat concise version of this show. But as always, thank you so much for tuning in, for listening, and I will see you next week.
And for me here in Michigan, one final goodbye. Thank you for always tuning in, listening, watching, supporting us. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.